All right, welcome into the Grapevine on a Thursday morning. This is Smooth 98.1. Love music, love life. Excited to be with you at this point in time. Yes. My name is Ayokunmi Kekirieko, and we are in the Grapevine, people. It's all about entertainment, all the gist, the gossip, spilling of the tea, breaking and shaking of the tables as well. And it's going to be that sort of morning to do all that because the lineup is. That is all I can say at this point in time. Come one, come all. Join us on the conversations. Send your messages in to us on WhatsApp. Send those comments in on YouTube as well because we're streaming live at Smooth 981 FM Lagos. Smooth 981 FM Lagos. WhatsApp number 0911-999-0981. Those are the ways you can be a part of the Grapevine this morning. Hey, we'd love to get your thoughts as we get things moving. All right, joining me to take a look at the stories you already know. And if you don't know, well, it's a Thursday, so two main men are joining me on the show. First of all, James Silas, good morning to you, brother.
Yeah, good morning, Lagos. Good morning, Ayo. Good morning, everybody, wherever you're listening from. We are live.
Yes, indeed, we are live. And also joining us, the shining lights. That's all I'll say for now. He knows what I mean. Oris is with us as well. Oris, good morning to you.
He has absolutely no idea what you mean. But yes, good morning, Ayo. Good morning, James. And good morning to our listeners.
That is coded. I won't say anything beyond that because I know Oris is going to have my head if I do. Anyways, thank you guys for joining me this morning. So much to talk about. And there's no better place to start than the basketball that's been going on recently between Seun Kuti and Wizkid. I mean, it started as online chatter around legacy and comparisons. It turned into a full-blown feud between the two of them. And I don't know, I think this tension started or surfaced earlier on in January when Chio posted an Instagram video that was aimed at Wizkid FC, that is Wizkid's fan base. You know, he accused them of constantly dragging the name of his late father, Fela, into all the various online debates and so on and so forth. Now, Chio insisted that calling any modern artist the new Fela showed ignorance about the depth of his father's legacy. And the whole thing went on back and forth. And you know what, James, I will allow you to take things from here right now. What exactly has been going on, and why are we even having these conversations? This beef, is it even necessary, for goodness sake?
So I think now that's just to assume now. Let's assume that this beef started from one time Shane was on doing his regular live talks, and then one of the, of course, comments. You know, people whenever he's talking, there's always reaction that he'll read and then talk about as well. And I think that one of the guys, one of the Wizkid FCs, as they are called, or a fan of Wizkid, made a statement about maybe Wizkid being the first to do something, or Wizkid being, you know, something, maybe gave him some kind of accolade that also connects, or, that may have been, well, taken to be Fela's feat or achievement. And then Sheon just goes into, and just responds to the guy, or probably maybe talks the guy off. Then from there, other people started reacting, and then it became a Fela, a Sheon Wizkid FC conversation or banter. Now, this thing, I don't know, Sheon decides to go 7 days. He said he was going to go 7 days back to back against the FCs. And this whole thing, in fact, you all know, day 6, Wizkid, first of all, reposts a fan who had said some things, saying that Sheun's people should hold him, or they should, arrange the guy, warn him, or call him back. But that now also triggered. It didn't stop, of course. Sheun. They said Sheun went on, had his birthday, or maybe he traveled or whatever, came back and continued. It seemed like all fun and games. But you know how it is. You think that you are talking. You know how if you have a child, for instance, in the society or in school, wherever, and then every day somebody's talking to the child, not talking to you directly, not calling your name directly, but saying that the people that you are, your fathers or your people, they just kept going on and on like that until I think Whiskey he had it basically, and then decided to go boom. And then Whiskey, he said my mouth is bad, I can talk too. Whiskey can be petty, that's the fact. Now, one of the things I realized later, you see, in the midst of all of these things, I now watched Wizkid's documentary, the one they did on HBO and stuff. And guess who was the opening, character, or one of the opening people that was talking? Femi Kuti, who also accords Wizkid as doing well, being great as well in his own right, having frontiered the whole Afrobeat, just sort of gave him a whole lot of props. Do you understand? Femi was very prominent in that documentary. So I don't know if Seun did not like that, or maybe Seun was pissed about it, or maybe Seun just did not, But of course, it started with the fans. They say it's Wizkid FC. But now, Wizkid just comes directly. Look, I'm greater than your father. Now, let me tell you what I think about that statement. I don't think that Wizkid meant it in that sense, but he just wanted to, you want to talk, and just goes ahead and just decides to piss both Seun and whoever that is emotionally attached in any way to the conversation or to Fela. Do you understand what I'm saying? Now, the truth is that I don't think, even as far as Africa is concerned, the whole world, nobody is arguing about Fela's greatness. You also will not argue about what Wizkid has done for himself, musically, career-wise, even for the culture and Africa generally. Wizkid may not be a freedom fighter, may not be talking about the government and all of those things. That's a conversation of choice. Do you understand? That's something that people decide to chase, whether they would like it or whether they like it. If they don't like it, you cannot force them to be in the forefront and carrying placards and all of those things. That does not mean that the guy does not have an opinion about anything, but he has decided to focus on his music and all of those things that come with it. Wizkid is a great artist, Fela, nobody's dragging, nobody's questioning, nobody. I don't think anybody has ever argued about Fela's greatness in terms of just music and the things that he stood for in Nigeria and Africa generally. However, Seun, and no disrespect intended, is the way he carries it is heavier than any other Kuti that I've ever come across, But you need to chill, you need to calm down, you need to because sometimes it begs the question, what exactly? Okay, we know what Fela has done, or what Fela did when in his prime and every other time that he was alive, or what he stood for or represented. What does Seun represent? What does this stand for? Apart from when he comes live and talks about, he curses out people, curses out the government. Yes, he does all of that. But even at that, what other action, what are the solutions that you've ever tried to profile in terms of the problems that you see in the country? Let me tell you, Seun is an elite. No matter how you put it, no matter how Seun is not any regular person's mate. Seun is an elite, both from a government perspective, both financial perspective. However you look at it, he's not the common man. Seun surpasses the line of any middle class or whatever. He's an elite as you see him. Even he denies it, or he probably doesn't own up to it. But Seun is not your mate. If you go outside and nobody can slap him. I dare you, try to insult a policeman to his face. You cannot. Seun slapped a policeman, and what did they do? He went to Banti for a bit, and guess what? Go and check his bio on Instagram. That's what he puts there. He's proud of it. He, sell one, this. But that's besides the point. We need to accord respect to people that respect are due. I mean, or give respect to whose respect is due. Like, and also respect is reciprocal. You cannot just be calling out and talking aggressive and so angry. And what exactly is it that you people are mad about? What exactly are you upset about? It's not that deep. Social media, and Seun does not even, I heard that he doesn't even read comments on social media. So if you don't, then just chill. You have been talking about this guy all along. Everybody knows that Wizkid is a man of little words, And then finally he gives one bam. He calls your wife ugly. I can understand that you cannot hold those words any seriously. I just feel like he just did that to just sort of, okay, you want to talk, you want to be angry, go ahead, I give you something else now to be mad about. And that's what Wizkid did. But I think that at the end of the day, everybody, it's social media, something else will come and distract everybody, and we'll all move on. But hey, it's epic and we love it.
Oris, do you think that the way Seun has handled this situation has actually, should I say, dragged Fela into a conversation that he doesn't need to actually be in? Yes, his legacy, we know it. What he's done, we know that. But as Seun is just going over and over on this particular issue, I mean, has he just kind of given or opened the door for Wizkid said anybody to say anything about Fela and so on and so forth?
Yeah, I mean, there is certainly there's certain some validity to that interpretation that Fela is chilling in his grave or wherever he gets, and then this has brought up a conversation that is needless. Except, of course, I don't really agree with that thought, to be honest. I think that if you are as great as Fela, one of the hazards of being that great is from time to time, you will be called upon in some ways to stand for your greatness or to defend it in some sense. It's just how it works. Today, you hear online about how Beyonce is greater than Michael Jackson. It is part of, it's just how it works, There's a connection between Elvis Presley and Michael Jackson. These things that's just how it is. If you are this great, from time to time, you'll be called upon to say, hey, look, let us even re-examine your greatness. But Fela is greater than everybody. If you're a musician in this country, I don't think there's anybody that can be compared to Fela. So what that means is that he will be fine. The Fela legacy there's nothing Seun can do to shake Fela's legacy. Nothing. It's not possible. I don't think there's anything anybody who is living currently can do to shake Fela's legacy. The music was too good. The name is still strong. The style is eternal. What do you really want? There's nothing you can really do. So to be fair, while this is a conversation between generations, because that's another thing that's happening here, by the way, is a generation trying to stand up for themselves and say, look, our hero is greater than the hero's past, to use the line from our former anthem. That's really what is going on here. There's that generational battle. But I don't think that Wizkid, no matter how great he is as great as Fela was. It's just, I don't think you can compare, to be honest, but I don't think that Wizkid has finished battling the greatness conversation in his own generation to be enough, to be good enough to debate somebody from an older generation who even idolizes. And James was right in saying that Wizkid's response was mostly just because he was pissed. I just wanted to say something against Seun Kuti. And it looked like the easiest way to hurt him was to refer to his father and then, of course, to his wife. Because it almost feels like Seun himself is a little bit untouchable in the same way that James pointed out, you can't slap a police officer and get away with it in the way Seun did. You also can't really talk to Seun and get away with it because end of the day, like James pointed out again, he's an elite. There's really few things you can really do to Seun. So Wizkid's tactic was to, hey, let me attack your father's legacy. Let me attack your wife's beauty. Because the man himself is pretty much untouchable. And you can argue that, and this is where I don't like what James has said. James was trying to put Seun Kuti on a certain, what's the word, on trial. But I honestly don't think that Seun is on trial here. Unfortunately, Seun is a little too, what's the word now? Inconsequential if you're speaking about musical legacy to be in this conversation. He's standing in for his dad. Wizkid is standing in for himself. Those are two people who are great in their generations who are doing battle. Seun is just like an interloper, to be honest. So I don't really think it's fair to bring Seun's own legacy, or rather Seun's own activities into this. He just does what he does. And I do think that Seun has a value. Of course, there's a way he goes about it that's a little bit too aggressive and too, I guess, unsophisticated. But I think that Seun, some of the things he says are quite meaningful. And to be honest, personally, I do like the guy, to be fair. But that's not what is, I guess, in debate here. I'm just of the opinion that what is happening here is a generational problem. Wizkid FC, of course, they idolize their man. Seun, of course, idolizes his father. And Seun is right. Wizkid FC is also right. But I do not know that, yes, in terms of like actual greatness, Wizkid has finished battling Burna Boy, who probably, if you're thinking about in certain regards, is greater in some sense than Wizkid is. So if you have not finished battling your generation, why are you trying to talk about the person he died in 1997 and yet he's still in conversation today? That tells you already who that guy is.
I hear you on that one, Oris. And without your comments on Burna Boy, Wizkid FC will be waiting for you. Waiting to catch you outside.
They know I am right. They know I am right.
All right, let's take a pause here. And when we come back in, it's from one beef to another. We're talking about Seun and Wizkid here. The Adelekes are also in the news. The Beckhams are also in the news. It's like a versus of different proportions. We'll talk about that and a whole lot more on the other side of this break on the grapevine here on Smooth 98.1.
So, Ayo, for the interest of people on YouTube or that watch on YouTube, just quickly. Ori just said that maybe in my listen. What about my comments? May suggest that I put Seun on trial. Not really. You know, we're not even trying to compare Seun to Wizkid or trying to check their legacies. I'm just saying basically that um, Seun he has always spoken and freely. Nobody disturbs Seun when he's talking. He has his opinion. You almost cannot argue with Seun. He knows it all. It's fine, you know. But you see, in this whole Wizkid matter, the way he went about it, and how do you stay for and then for your intention is to go for 7 days talking and going after a whole like I feel like it's a toxic. How do you just even let this guy, because as much as you say, oh, you don't read their comments or you don't care about what they say, how do you even let these guys get to you so much that you need to see when Shehu is talking
It
about
felt,
these things?
it
He's
felt so
so
childish.
angry.
It felt so
Eh?
childish, really.
He's so angry. He's so gosh, man. Do you understand? And then you set the camera, you go live, and then because how do you want to prove to people, Gen Z, whoever it is, how are you trying to convince them or prove to them about your father's greatness? And everybody knows that fella is great. And you know that there are some people who become so iconic that they don't belong to you anymore. They're not just yours anymore. They become our own, no matter how you're connected by blood. We're back.
Yes, so sharp, sharp. It's Gospel so on the Grapevine this morning here on Smooth 98.1. We love music, we love life, we love everything entertainment, all the gist, all the gossip, all the shaking and breaking of the tables as well. Hey, it is what we do. Ayokunmi here. And joining me this morning, you've already heard their voices, you've heard their takes as well. James Silas, what's going on?
Yeah, I'm good.
And of course, Oris is in the building. Oris, welcome back in, man.
Thank you.
All right, join us on the conversation. Share your thoughts on WhatsApp on 0911-999-0981. And join us on YouTube as well. Leave your comments there. Smooth 981 FM Lagos, Smooth 981 FM Lagos. And trust me, YouTube is where some behind the scenes conversations tend to happen. So the things that we do not say on the air, you can hear them on YouTube. Yes, indeed. All right, let me take a message here. This is this is from Tayo. Tayo has galloped. Tayo, you didn't come in on your horse this morning. What happened? I feel things are not complete. Anyways, he says, let me pose for my glam bot shot before Mr. Cole with the long hair says we can't afford it for Seun Kuti versus Wizkid FC, Adeleke family versus Kemi Olunoya, inside the Beckham family, Bilo versus VDM, a lot of verses, and it's not for music. What's going on in the world? Anyways, he said, it seems Seun Kuti is the only one in the family fighting for his father's legacy. What does that say? I don't even know that he's fighting for his father's legacy like that, to be honest. I really don't know. Anyways, perception is key. Let me watch Pella try and be shameless in front of actual speed.
Tayo, you're petty.
Oh my goodness. Someone that said he's in school. Does Pella know he's missing class? Oris doesn't Oris doesn't do is he proud? No, Oris is a shining light, so please let's leave that for James. It's James's thing. Oris is different gravy entirely. You know what I mean? Tally says, "Wow, inconsequential," and it was Oris that said it, not Irabo. It's Oris that said it. Tally, don't drag Irabo into this one. Yes, Irabo 7 gazillion, but don't drag Irabo into this one. I'm pretty sure Irabo probably would have said something similar. Anyways, back into the conversation, and let's talk about the father of Davido has been speaking. You know, for something to happen and then for the father to, put on ring lights and sit in front of Mike, you know that's a big deal.
Tayo,
Anyways,
that's
yeah.
trolling. You just trolled.
How?
Ring
How?
light, really?
No, now I'm just trying to, let people know the gravity of the situation for that to have happened. Anyways, Davido's dad has opened up on how the family coordinated several DNA tests to determine whether 12-year-old Anuluakbo is the singer's daughter. And if you recall, the whole paternity controversy involving Davido and the alleged daughter, it surfaced sometime this month. On January 15th, Anuluakbo alleged that she had been subjected to bullying and mockery over claims that Davido is her father. She said the situation had affected her mental health and subsequently demanded that the singer undergo a DNA test to confirm her paternity. Now, reacting to this, Adeleke told newsmen that before the matter reached them, social media personality Kemi Olunloyo had alleged that the child might be B-Red, that's Davido's cousins. Oris, my head is spinning at this point. I don't even know how to process this whole thing. It feels so yucky.
It's nothing to process. It's just, I mean, what's it called? What's that thing? What's that line from back in the day? Success has many friends. Apparently, it has many children too.
It's like misery,
You said,
you know.
yeah, success has many kids, man. You know, because that's the only thing here. I think, but anyway, seriously, I think the father, the Adeleke himself, Chief Adeleke himself, I think he has done such a great job. Because I mean, if you saw the interview, the man has receipts. Everything that kind of happened, he pretty much said. So I don't know that anybody can still, I don't know, consider that Davido is the father of that girl. It looks utterly impossible right now, considering what the man said, the DNA test, the fact that even after all of that, he decided to still put them on the payroll, you know, paid for the girls. I mean, there's so many things the guy has done that I don't know that anybody with sense or anybody in good taste or anybody thinking about this properly would consider that there is only a tiny possibility that that child is Davido's. I think that interview practically says it is impossible for you to be considering this as a thing that is, that Davido is guilty of, in quote, if you call it guilt. You know, I don't know that. Yeah, I think it's such a great thing the man did in that it is quite documented all of the things that the family has done to ascertain the true paternity of that child, you know. And even after it looks like it's not even their child, the man still had the what's it called, magnanimity to say, hey, look, even if this didn't quite go well, there are things we can do for you as a family. I don't know that this is how you should be paid back, given how long that whole process must have been. You understand? You know, to still be dragging the son online over a thing that has been put to rest years ago. You know, it's ridiculous. Maybe the question to be asking is, what has gone wrong now in the mother's life, I guess, for her to bring this up, for the child to bring this up again in public after all of that? Because, of course, she's not like she was, I don't know. She wasn't there. She's an adult. She knew everything that has happened. So I don't get, that's, in fact, for me, that's the most important question. What has happened now to her, financially or otherwise, that has made this thing come back into the public space? Because it looks to me like there's no reason anybody should be doubting the paternity of that, to be assuming rather that Davido is that child's father. His father's interview makes it very, very clear that there is absolutely no way that's the case. So I feel sad about stuff like this because, of course, you want to know your family and everything. So the other question will be, who is the real father? And why is the mother, in a sense, just not looking for the answer to that question?
Right.
You know? Yeah. So that's for me, is it, to be fair.
James, jump in on this one.
Yeah. You know, you're just asking that what could have happened to the girl's mom. But according to the news that has been, you know, both the press conference that Chief Adeleke held and other indications, it was Dr. Kemi Olunloyo that started this fire again. The man reported or said that she was the admin behind that account, that's a news account. And later on Facebook, she did not deny it, said it was her. So if this man did not say that it was Kemi Olunloyo behind it, how would anybody have even guessed that she was one? Because one of the things that I noticed on that page that's supposed to be the girl's page, who is supposed to be an underage girl who's not even supposed to be on Instagram, was that they were running the page like a blog. I was like, what exactly is going on here? How is it that you are calling Davido out and then you're also posting what Davido responded and then posting all that news as well. Like, what's going on? And then it has come clearly to say that, okay, it's actually Kemi that was doing it. Now, this is my position. I think that, and this is not in any way trying to be disrespectful, honestly speaking, personal opinion, I think that Dr. Kemi Oluloyo talks a lot of trash. Oh my days. I can't even stand it. Now, the fact is, she has her own personal what's it called, resentment, will I put it, resentment or whatever about the, in fact, not just the Adeleke, about a lot of people. She has different things that she runs or that she has to say about different situations, and then she will come and claim that she's a professional journalist. I've been a journalist. I mean, she only has been a journalist. She's been a doctor. She worked with the CIA. She has a lot of claims to her name. So you see, on this particular occasion, or in this case, I listened to her take or her response to Chief Adeleke, and then she tries to play the victim. Oh, why are you talking about my son being this? But what have you been doing? You're saying the person talked about your son, claiming that it doesn't have anything to do with you. You say, oh, that's false. Your nephews or whoever fabricated that story. Whatever. Go and look at her page. That's all she has been added. But then again, guys, you see, these people that have come to master the art of how to make money on Facebook or social media generally, they don't back down. It's an art. Look, you have to do what they got to do. Go and check the numbers on her page. Go and check. And then she tell you, sometimes she'll come and tell you that I earned $450 on this post, or I got 45,000 on this. So she's making money off it. So it's not just about what she's talking. Now, let me tell you, the other time that she trolled one pastor also, that they went to court, they locked her up and everything. She came out and then she claimed insanity. Now, let me tell you, let me talk about this Davido and this Anu's. I personally, my opinion was that maybe Davido should just accord her, one more DNA test. And that was because I wasn't sure. I didn't know that truly they had done up to 5 tests. I don't think this Chief Adeleke will come in this public light, on this social media, to come and lie to us and say this. I was surprised to have heard that, the girl's grandmom wrote to the Adeleke family via DHL, and then they read, look at the way the man, I don't think, I could not detect any iota of lies in what that man had said. That even put them in hotels, say, take care of them, make sure they are comfortable, give them money, wait, and then we'll do another test. And they went through all of that. And then you still say, look, he said they had the whole tongue swap from both parties, and they did the DNA. So what else are we talking about? And then Kevin is claiming that it was manipulated by, and then she called Bobo Ajudwa, Davido's former, I don't know when this thing happened, would have been over 10 years or how many years ago?
It's been a while.
It's been a while. When did Bobo become a lawyer so much that he was managing? When we come look, if you know, look, we know when Bobo joined Davido's camp. They were probably friends, but it's been long. Davido was probably around 21, or how old was Davido at the time when this thing happened? Do you understand? How old is Davido right now? The girl is 14, going to be 14, or maybe going to 15. I understand the part where, as a young superstar, as a what, in his early 20s, and they are beginning to be exposed to women and the life, and they'll say, okay, this girl, no, give me this babe. I've heard things, let me tell you, and it's still alleged, that artists sometimes they say, okay, just give me anything, and they sleep with them. There's the part of irresponsibility where you should have this protection, because if you are, you claim and say, I did not sleep with you without protection, but something would have happened that would have even demanded a level of, say, let's go for a test. But above all, let's just keep our fingers crossed and see how this thing. Social media, they'll always forget. We'll move on to other concerns eventually.
There's always one thing or the other to take over the news cycle. They almost always is one thing or the other. All right, a couple of thoughts have come in on WhatsApp here. All right, let me see. This is Julius from the island, who says, there was a time Michael Jordan was the greatest, then came LeBron. Today, Michael Jackson. Wait, you mentioned Michael Jordan, now Michael Jackson. Are you?
I'm sorry, it was a mistake. He meant Michael Jackson.
No,
Or
because
Michael Jordan, maybe.
Michael Jordan. Okay, now,
Go
let
ahead.
me go Michael Jordan because now Michael Jordan is not mentioned because the new cats don't give him any accolades. I disagree. Jordan is still mentioned though.
You still
No
think
now,
though, what?
no now, because the new cats don't give him accolades.
No, they
Okay,
give Michael Jordan. Maybe he meant Michael Jackson. I don't know. But even both of them, they still give them accolades. So I
Both
don't
of
know.
them, yeah, but it's
Yeah,
but people still make all kind of comments, but they still have their
yeah,
reputations intact.
yep.
true.
He further says, Wizkid and Burna mention Fela every time they have the chance. And for Femi to have a go at him for 7 days, any one of us will respond. And him mentioning
So
that Wizkid does not love his fans triggered Big Wiz, and Seun started all this fracas. So I'm with Wiz on this one. And Wiz is bigger than Fela. Take it to any bank. How many youth today know Fela and can sing any one of his songs? Well,
Is that how they
that's
compare?
uh,
Wow.
that that's Julius's opinion
it's beyond that. But
on the matter.
that's his opinion,
Uh,
yes.
Yeah, this is Biggie. Biggie from K2 who says we have now left Davido versus Wizkid debate. Now it's late fella versus Wizkid. Um, ridiculous in Odumeji's voice. Even if fella was born 2,000 years ago, uh, can't be compared with. Even if Wizkid, you mean, was born 2,000 years ago, can't be compared to fella. Fella that is a demigod of Afro beats. Seun Kuti should get off social media and stop putting his father's legacy in disgrace in a disgraceful
People keep
conversation.
saying this. Fela's legacy is intact. There's nothing Shehu can do about it. I don't know what this
Yes.
means. To say stuff. There's nothing that Shehu can do. Nobody can do anything about it. It's fine. Abba.
Seth Fadjo says, I feel all this dragging shouldn't be brought into play at all. Everyone should do their thing and enjoy. Either their legacies or their father's legacies. Nobody should insult each other. I mean, we don't need all the dragging and so on and so forth.
No, but
Uh,
that ship has sailed though. They must be dragging now. Sorry, bros.
this is for Atayo says that the Adeleke after that press conference should stand up and slam the biggest and brightest case of defamation and cyber stalking against Kemi. That message in no way or form was done by Anu. It was devoid of error and looked professional for a teenager to write. What if she's brilliant, Tayo? What if she's a genius? Daddy Yo has been managing his business in peace and still magnanimous despite the ridicule. If we keep this up, we'd soon hear Dangote doing his own presser. There's no need for an additional DNA test. The sixth one won't change the outcome. I mean. This is from AY Inuniru who says Fela Nicola Kuti is eternal. I mean, he's basically the messiah of Afro beats. All right. Thank you for sharing your thoughts there. We need to go this morning, man. It's been quite the interesting back and forth. Thank you for all the messages. As always, you are very much appreciated. And thank you so much to you, James and Oris, for joining me. I appreciate you very, very much.
Thank you for having us as usual. James Silas is James Silas on social media. We can continue the conversation off radio. Holla at me. I'll holla back.
Yeah, and
Oris.
Kachuris, exclusively online, of course, not on the streets.
Wiz-
CHORIS.
Wizkid FC. Have something to say about that. Okay, let me just sneak this one in from Fred Adoki, who says, Morning, guys. Because kids don't know Fela's music, doesn't mean Wiz is bigger. Wiz sings, as far as I'm concerned, not good music, and I will never listen to it. All right, Fred, that is your own opinion on the matter as well. We need to go. Thank you all once again for keeping up with us, as always, on the Smooth Breakfast on Smooth 98.1. My name is Ayokunmi Kekirieko. Stick around. The show continues. More great music is coming your way.
And